Yes, what's up, guys? Discussing some price action today because there wasn't happening that much. You had an Esther trade and then and another trade. I forgot which one, but I was of course watching this Esther one, and I shared this in the Gulag as well, like this demand POI for a potential continuation trade. You had the WIF pre-planning, which didn't play out yet, and on Bitcoin there is a very nice supply zone because we got this 12-hour supply right there, and we have this 30-minute supply right there, this last candle before going up, leaving inefficiency. Right now we have this beautiful range on the chart, and we were forming a an accumulation in there, which was also hard to trade. So you had your 1 2 3, but it was the break of structure wasn't really there. Was an aggressive move. Could have traded it, yes, when you're a bit more advanced. But I wasn't even behind the charts. I was packing my stuff because I'm going back to Amsterdam. And yeah, what happened in the charts more like I was of course long on this ANA trade, and ANA didn't come into my preferred POI right there because I was watching this and I was in the long from here. Price was grabbing extreme liquidity here, and I already made a whole video about this. So if you want to watch that, go to the other YouTube video. I'm not gonna explain it again. But price grabbed extreme liquidity right there, broke structure right there. My entry was here, and yeah, I was targeting the range high. You had some supply here, so this was my first take profit target, and yeah, that was my first CP position, got de-risked a little bit, and then I threw my stop loss as well to this low. So there was a break-even trade. Price went lower, and this was interesting because my extreme demand POI was this POI, and there really wasn't any big POI. You had those two candles, one large candle. I usually don't use this as demand, but the thing is, like, for this trade you could have used it. And why could you have used it is that because it's leaving this very nice inefficiency. Do you see? I'm always talking about that, filling the inefficiencies, because that's the reason price wants to go lower, fill the inefficiency right there, and go higher. So the price filled the inefficiency and formed a pretty good low there, and then an aggressive move up, breaking structure, which could have definitely been your entry, and the breaker structure was there with for an insane R. I don't have FOMO, but to be honest, I could have taken this trade to of course, and that would have been de-risked already, like for a 10-hour trade. This is a crazy setup. But I still do want to explain how this continuation trade works, because price was of course from low to high in a range in a downtrend, and you had your first deviation of the range. Okay, this is your tab 2, this is your tab 1, and you had a deviation. Highs are not taken now, which are liquidity. You had some liquidity right there, and price was distributing here. And I was watching these POI zones. Your first POI zone right there, and your second POI zone right here, and this is your second POI zone. And what happened after that distribution, I was already seeing it. You had this distribution right here in your range, and let's go on a lower time frame to explain it better, because you had your 1 right here, you had a deviation of that range, so you had your tab 2, and you had a deviation of the new range, so this is your tab 3, coming into supply right there. And this is the model 1 going over into a model 2, and then breaking structure. And what I was watching is an accumulation into a distribution into an accumulation into those POIs. I was telling it in Gulag, and in the Gulag, I hope some guys took it. Why? Because what happens here, you have your 1, you have your 2, and you have your 3, and you see your extension range for your tab 2. You see these highs still being intact. You see all these highs, yeah, that are all liquidity highs. So this is gonna be a liquidity, this is gonna be liquidity, and you have some supply right there. Okay, which this is gonna be your obvious TP1. Okay, so what happens here? You got it going over into an accumulation, breaking structure there. Boom, right there. And this could literally have been your trade. This is where the POIs I gave you, and this was a trade. At a break of structure, stop goes below the low. You're coming into that demand. You're already, and that's the most important part, in a confirmed accumulation because you have your 1, 2, 3 with your LPS. Okay, so price is gonna go higher. Was the break of structure in the volume profile, and we didn't form the third tap in the volume area low, which is what you sometimes want to see, because then it's protected by the volume area low. But right now, this was a nice could have been a nice continuation trade for a very nice RR. And yeah, I literally gave that POI in the Gulag. So if you're not in yet, join that shit, because I'm very active in there and I'm discussing giving my secrets in there. So yeah, furthermore, I don't really have any that much to say. Like, we have this great POI, have your alerts there in the 30 minute. On ETH price section is also clear. Like, we have this big supply zone, and when I use only a line, that means the supply zone is just a bit too big to draw. And this is the demand POI I'm watching. And on the lower time frame, let's see, we got price just forming a pretty good low right there, and you have some liquidity right there. But you see why this is less good of liquidity, because this high is already taken by this high. You see, this high is already taken by this high, is taken by this high, so this is not the best liquidity trail. So take those details, notice those details when you're trading. And of course, when we will go lower, this becomes your new range from low to high, because you're then in a downtrend. Be ready for the new week, guys. Join the Gulag to join the circle. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.